All right, next team up is Team Strong Arm. And I was the mentor for this team, and they've been a great team. They needed my help, not at all. I added no value to the process. But they did a hackathon in a box project, very ambitious. It's a great product. It'll be out on the website, and let me pull it up.
Good afternoon. Our project was to create a document and framework to assist counties with successfully planning and executing a hackathon. To build this framework, we brought together collective expertise from our teams from both Marin and Alameda counties. We were in class earlier in this program and were asked why innovate. We believed everyone wants to innovate, but do not necessarily have the tools or capacity to do so. One way to achieve this is to engage citizens through external hackathons and/or internal hackathons, providing citizens a voice and assisting the organization with ideas on how to improve. Generally, counties are resource constrained and have some legacy processes. Hackathons help overcome these issues with innovation, providing new ideas, new technology, new processes, and potentially new applications. Hackathons can be complex. This slide outlines some of those complexities. Through our framework, we have worked to simplify this process, and this presentation is a brief summary. I'm now going to hand this off to Menka and Wesley to discuss the details of our framework.
Thanks, Chris. So as you can see from this rainbow of chaos up here, hackathons have a bit of complexity to them. So what we've done with our framework is attempted to streamline the process and make a one-stop shop, a repeatable thing that you guys can just pick up and plan and execute a hackathon. Marin and Alameda have done this, Alameda quite a few times, and just to highlight some of the things that we think you can get from it, this came up in today's session just this morning, citizen engagement, and Tim actually talked about hackathons as a resource for citizens engagement. So Tim, I don't know if someone paid you off, but it was a good segue in. We view hackathons as an easy-to-use platform for you to get the community to work with you on solving some of the challenges that every one of our counties is facing. Be it sustainability, be it homelessness, you're inviting them in to help you solve an issue. What you get from that is not only diversity of socioeconomic, gender, race, but you get the diversity of ideas. And that is truly a benefit to local governments in helping to solve these issues that are facing them, because really it's an issue that matters to them. It also helps you identify some of those blind spots and that tunnel vision that you've developed working closely with these ideas by getting outside perspectives. Another great thing from hackathons is their innovation engines. So you brought in that different audience and they're bringing their skills, they're bringing their tool sets, and these are outside of yours. So what potential is there in that community to help you solve some of the issues that are facing you? So at, say, example, in our Marin County Hackathon, Hack for Health, we provided data, we provided tools, and what we found is that several of our teams didn't even use that data or tools because they went to the New York Times and found health data and then made API calls to it, and we then were like, we need that data. Also, things like Twilio, some of our participants were using this as a text messaging application, which we learned about through the hackathon, and now we use it in our applications. So it's a real benefit to you to learn, get that outside perspective. It also helps you put to test your open data community. So how are they using your data? Get a bit of a benchmark for how well it's doing, what data should be in it, what correlations they're making with the data. Those are kind of high-level things that we take away from our hackathons. So hopefully that's giving you a little perspective on why you should be doing this, and then our framework helps you plan and execute that. So just to give a little highlight of some of the steps, hackathons are they're resource intensive. So you gotta plan for these. We estimate, or we suggest, about 3 to 4 months of lead time for planning a hackathon. They can be one or multi-day events. Multi-day events are definitely more resource intensive for you, so maybe start with one. It's nice to plan it around an event. So Earth Day is coming up. We all have climate or sustainability challenges. Maybe frame a hackathon around Earth Day. So some of the things that can help you drive participation. These things aren't free either, but there's a room of people over there who might give you money. So go ask them. But I mean, we're working with vendors every day. often they want you to succeed. They want you to use their product. Often they'll offer a prize to help you. So if not a prize, maybe they can offer to work at the venue, or give, local organizations can give you food to help run the event. Another thing that we want to stress is, because it's complicated, you need to run it like a project. So having an internal team, which you can use to do all the things on the slide here, from marketing it, from running the food, to supporting the developers, all that needs to be accounted for. And then you develop the internal expertise, so then you can turn around and run 5 of these things. So that's, in a nutshell, the planning. We also think that marketing is a huge thing that you have to do for these events. Your citizens aren't used to engaging with you in this manner, so get on social media, create a dedicated Facebook event page, develop a hashtag to promote your content. And there are even hackathon aggregators where you can tweet at them and they'll promote the content for you. Another thing is, while the motive of doing this for the common good might be enough for some people, you're asking people to give you their weekend. So offer prizes or internships.
Okay, so now once we have done the planning and marketing, now it is the time for event prep, which is getting into the nitty-gritty of the hackathon. So we are going to start establishing the rules, and the rules are basically who is eligible to participate in the hackathon. If there are any forms needed for minors who are participating, if there are cash prizes, and do we need any W-9s or things like that. So we need to go in the eligibility of participation. We need to get into the code of conduct, what they can do at the hackathon and what they cannot do. And definitely who is eligible for the prize and how they are eligible for the prize, what is that they have to do to get the prize. So these are few things we need to look at. We need to work with the departments to get in the data sets that it will be available for our teams to use. And we need to define the process on various different awards, whether they are cash or whether they are just kind of gift cards. Next thing is choosing the judges, and for this we get a pool of experts from different departments, and they could be our subject matter experts, they could be from our sponsors, they could be part of our non-governmental organizations. So we have partners who will be our judges, and we have to provide them with various different rating sheets and the grading categories to find the people who are worth the award. Next is logistics and supplies. Very, very important to run a smooth hackathon. Networking is a very important part of our hackathon. We want to have all the Wi-Fi hotspots and everything available for our participants. We need to also look at the special accommodation for our participants. For example, they need special furniture or things like that. So once we are done with this, now I'm going to show you a small video. It is a one-day event in just 2 minutes. So let me just play this video for you. So in this, the day starts basically with the registration process. And the registration is, they could pre-register for the event, or they can come in and walk in for the registration. So that is our first step, and we have sponsors all lined up for the event, so they can be very enthusiastic in the morning, start with collecting all the swags that are offered by our vendors. So this is the best time for our participants to collect as much as they can. Next, they come in and then they start, we have an event kickoff. And for this, we invite community leaders to come and talk to our participants, keep them motivated, and ask them to innovate for the day. And this definitely boosts our attendance. And now the team formation is done, and starts by pitching ideas. So people who have ideas, they stand up, they talk about their idea, and other people start joining them and forming teams. Now, in terms of teams, we can have as many teams as you like. Generally, we limit it to 25. So, and all this is in our document. If you go back to our document, everything is listed there. And definitely, we have food for the hackathon. We need to provide with all the capabilities at the hackathon. Every tool, logistics, we need to think about ahead of time For this, we can make small teams and have team members be responsible for their small portions. Again, for lunch ideas, finger food is the best. So if they can have some wraps and some sandwiches, that would be great. And the whole day, the hacking continues. This could be a 1 day or a 2 day event, depending upon the county, how they want to present it. Next, the idea basically is to have fun at the hackathon. At the end, you can have a 3 to 5 minute demo of whatever they have made, and it could be an app, it could be a skit, it could be just a PowerPoint presentation. This is the difficult part of the hackathon when judges have to deliberate. Basically, anybody who participates in the hackathon is anyways a winner because they have taken up the challenge to do something new. At the end of the day, there's an award process and then the closing ceremony where they can come and sync up with our participants. So that is basically the hackathon. Next is basically post-hackathon. What is that you do? You definitely go back and meet with the participants, invite them and talk to them and maybe get their application, get their code, and basically convert their ideas into actual working apps. And then there's another way of connecting with them is to open some internship opportunities where we can work with them and basically train them as well. So that is all hackathon in a box. And we have a document, and it is basically a framework that you can take away and you can use it. At the end of the document, we have all the forms that you would be needing to host a successful hackathon. Any questions? Yes. This was not planned.
So how do you suggest dealing with the data that all of these teams produce? Like, how do you get it back, or how do you go through it? Because there's so much out there.
Yes, so generally what we have suggested that you have a website where people can submit their ideas. They can use GitHub to post their apps. That could be accessed by the county, because definitely we are hosting a hackathon, we are giving them information, we are training them to use our API, so this is a good way to get their ideas back. So we do at County of Alameda, we did this. We have our website where they can post in their apps, and some of their apps are actually available for the public through County of Alameda. Some of these people came back as interns to the county and they created the apps, and then we published them for the people. So it was very, very useful for us, yes. And we would definitely like other counties to host hackathons and to make use of, all the innovation that is out there.
You can also define the process and basically put in your terms for the day that they're agreeing to give you their code and make it built into the day.
Right, since this is CISDA and a lot of counties, and a lot of counties might start doing more hackathons because of your hackathon in a box, how would the rest of the counties perhaps sharing some of the output hackathons that are happening throughout the internship?
Maybe we'll use the first team's product.
Definitely go through our framework document and follow step-by-step process that we have. It's very less effort to just look at the document and do it, because everything is in the document. And definitely if you need any help or anything related to the document, our team is out here to help you. Plus, some of the counties have already done and hosted hackathons, internal and external both, so we can definitely talk about it. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.